You are now listening to the new Old Heads podcast, premiered every Thursday at noon Eastern Standard Time at BringDownTheBand.com, and brought to you by No Bad Ideas, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, and Sun King Brewery. Support the new Old Heads by visiting our Patreon at patreon.com/newoldheads.
You are now tuned in to the new Old Heads podcast. I am Major 7. The entire crew is here, minus the homie Spoolz. Spoolz, we see you. The voice of Indianapolis, a.k.a. Kansas City Mac, a.k.a. I was actually curious to see what he ate today. I think Tuesdays is his cheat day. My man Jay Moore, what's happening, man?
Not too much. The only part of my day I did cheat because I had some P.F. Chang's today.
We balling. Okay.
And no, I didn't pay for it. It was business related. So I did not pay. Yeah,
it's that pimping.
So yeah, I had some combo fried rice and the crispy green beans with the orange sauce. But you know, the thing is, like, I'll have something like that and I'll be good for the day.
Got you. I respect it. I
still got my workout in, still got my miles in. How about yourself? You know,
I didn't get my miles, but I will say this. You have inspired me. My water intake is going up. My fruit game is going up. So I'm taking the baby steps, man. And it's a little cold. So, I might have to.
People say it's hard. You know, it's expensive to eat healthy. I was like, fam, bananas are 47 cents a pound.
They are.
You get some green apples for like,
every day.
$1.29 a pound.
Yeah.
That covers a lot right there as far as your vitamin intake, having your potassium together.
Had a banana this morning.
Like people always want to say it's so much cheap. You know, even if you can get your big jug of your distilled water.
There you go.
For 99 cents. So you can do what you want to do. You don't have to eat off that 99-cent menu. I mean, I know it's cheap and easy, but you don't have to do it.
It is.
You can treat yourself from time to time, but always have your fruits and vegetables on deck. It's not as hard as you think.
Hey, that 99-cent menu, it will call you like Pookie.
Yeah, y'all in there messing with that faux. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, homie DJ Jay Diff, what's happening, man?
Salutations. What's going on, man?
Oh, I can't call it, man. Everything good. You good?
Hey, same old.
Okay.
Day-to-day life.
Is that
sitting there with my drink, with my kid together?
Okay. What do we have tonight?
Have a good show. Let's do it. Just a little whiskey. I can't shout out the name because they ain't paying me.
I love that in you. That's right. They cut a check. We'll talk about it. Live from the Bringing Down the Band headquarters where my lamp resides. My man Lonegevity. How are you, sir?
I'm splendid as always.
Splendid. I don't think I've heard you use that one.
Feeling great. Pessimistic as always.
I feel you.
Full of energy as always.
What do you want? What do you want from Chris? What do you want for Christmas, Lone?
I want peace, man. I want peace of mind. I want some peace of mind. I want,
That's
I want to
Piece
not
of cake,
think
maybe?
about certain things.
You want a whole cake?
You want a whole white cake?
Nah, I've actually not done sugar for about 2 weeks or so.
That's love.
But,
That's
so
love.
you're better than me. I still occasionally like my pre-workout might include a Snickers bar before I hit the road.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You worked that off though. We worked that off.
That's not too bad. I mean, it's moderation. The reason why I'm using or trying to cut it out completely is just because just to get over that hump,
Yeah.
And then bring it back in moderation. But I have a problem when it comes to sugar, so just trying to handle it.
Yeah, you eat old cakes.
Hey, man.
That's the problem.
Yeah. Whole cakes. Baby step.
Very
Baby
true.
step.
I do miss-
Now, a lot of people after they work out, they'll drink chocolate milk though, and that actually helps.
I've heard that before. Yeah, I've heard that before.
Mhm.
So it's all good though, Long. Baby steps.
what I miss is Sour Patch Kids, man. I haven't had Sour Patch.
So
Listen,
I got a Sour Patch Kid hack for you since you're on your health kick.
Oh, here we go.
This is what you do. I'm dead serious, bro. This is what you do. You get you some green grapes, cut them joints in half, and freeze them. Now, once you freeze them, take them out of the freezer and squeeze some lime juice over them. It's gonna taste like you eating Sour Patch Kids. No lie.
Okay. All right. I might have to get with that.
Okay.
Try that. Let me know what you think.
Yeah, we have to try that and report back. Shout out to the chat. Everybody's in the building. I see thus far. My man DJ Nate Jeezy, my man Branson Sachs, Akeem, I see you. David, I see you. Nicole is in the building. My man E is in the building as well. Poppy Amon is in the building. Did I say David? Yep, he's down there. Appreciate y'all, man. Y'all stick around. We got some good topics tonight. Before we jump into the rundown, man, did y'all see I see 40 out there duking and jiving out there against Short. I enjoyed everything about it. I enjoyed 40's one-liners. Back up like a secret is like the coldest thing I heard this year. I was laughing extremely hard when he said that. And I didn't realize he said it'll have you backing up like a sea crab. I was on the floor cracking up. Like the way 40 says it is hilarious.
That tickled your fancy, huh?
That tickled my fancy, man. The way he said it.
That's showing the old man in you.
I'm old. You know, I can appreciate a good old man line. That's classic right there. That's free game. But the numbers weren't.
I think I more enjoyed the talk to me, I talk back.
Yeah. He had he was on it, man. Short was on it. I didn't realize how much heat those dudes been putting music out for so long, man. Like it was just good to see them. It was all positive. It wasn't even about a battle. You know what I mean? They just was having a good time. And repping the Bay, man, the Bay is slept on when you think about it. So, salute to them. And I thought it was a good time. I thought it was one of the best ones, in my opinion.
No, I caught some of the highlights. I didn't get to watch it in real time because I was already at work. But you know, I mean, those guys, I mean, they're legends if they never put out one more record. I mean, you're talking about Too Short, who came to national prominence like what, 87, 88. I remember when Life is Too Short came out. And the thing is, that was a big record in St. Louis. The thing is, St. Louis was one of those places where, like, if you were from the East Coast, if you were from the South, or if you were from the, the West Coast, like, if you were dope, you were going to get run in St. Louis. So, E40 got his love when Captain Save-A-Ho came out. That's when I really got up on him. So, you're talking about guys who have decades of hits and still the records, they have certain records that still go off in the club for a new generation of people who may not have been around for them in the beginning. So, salute to E40.
Oh, no question. They got joints.
I mean, and you got people who are remaking essentially their records now, and taking little lines and little cadences, and it's a thing to where their music has really stood the test of time. So shout out to those brothers.
Yeah, man. Shout out to them, man. Definitely legendary status.
I know you speak on St. Louis. What's weird to me was watching that battle.
You're like cutting in and out, and your volume's kind of weird.
Can you hear me?
I lost you, bro.
It sounds really weird. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. Might want to readjust. Okay. No, I think what he was about to allude to is how it was. I believe it was E40 that shout out Hallville.
Oh, for real?
I think that's what it was. Yeah.
So I mean, it's always dope when you get a shout out, for a little pocket of your city, that represents. So shout out to Hallville.
The only thing that I remember is I just saw the E40 memes of him dancing. That's
yes. E40 as the night went on, because E40 he's investing into a lot of liquor, so he had all his product out there on the table. So as the night went on, he was increasingly feeling better and better as the night went on. So
I know he had his Earl Stevens wine. I know he had different flavors of 𝗀𝗏𝐻𝐿.
𝗀𝗏𝐻𝐿, yep.
Which shout out to him for making that an actual product. I've seen it in a few liquor stores. I've never had it. I probably won't because it looks like something that might make your stomach hurt.
Yeah, definitely.
But honestly, I guess that's kind of the point of liquor is it makes your stomach and your head hurt. But go figure. But shout out to just like I mean, because I think the last one that was supposed to happen was 𝐊𝐃𝐃𝐒 and Ashanti, and like
I was cool from the jump.
See, this is the thing. I think there are certain artists where it would be much better if they said, okay, like when you're talking about Too Short and E40, these are guys who've had 30, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010. You're talking about 4 decades in the game putting out hits. Okay, 20 makes sense. When we're talking about Ashanti and 𝐃𝐄𝐃𝐃𝐒, like they've had nice runs, but I think we make for certain artists we need to do. Okay, you can do 10 songs because trying like how Brandy and Monica. Okay, yeah, that makes sense for them to do 20. Keisha and Ashanti. I mean, I know Ashanti was on a lot of records, and Keisha had some guest appearances as well. But I think if they're really going to extend this versus thing, they need to tell some people, all right, you only need to do 10. We need a hot 10 from you.
There you go.
Trying to do 20, you're doing too much.
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah, now we got you. Let's go ahead and jump into the rundown.
What I was saying, let me say this real quick though.
Yes, sir. You got it.
So based on E40 coming up in Nap, I know he was talking about St. Louis, but being born and raised in Indianapolis, Indiana, Naptown, you would have thought E40 and Too Short were from here as much as it was getting played. You know what I'm saying? So that in itself, just hearing that kind of just took me back to being a kid and listening to shit I wasn't supposed to be listening to.
That's what Too Short was in my generation. When Short Dogs in the House came out, and I knew somebody who had the tape. It was thing is hip hop really was contraband at one point. Especially when the cursing got super real.
We were playing Charlie Hustle and In a Major Way and all of that. So they definitely made their way out here because we was on all that Hall of Game, the whole thing. So shout out to 40, man. Shout out to Too Short. I remember the cassette or the CD. Yeah, the CD for getting it in my Discman. We might have lost some people on that one, but let's go ahead and jump into the rundown here. Shout out to the chat hanging with us here through the intro. We appreciate y'all as always. Let's see. So the article, shout out to the homie Spoolz who sent me this from 𝐀𝐁𝐎𝐔𝐓, the website. It was an interview with Lil Wayne, and where the title says, Lil Wayne says his influence is undeniable, and it quotes him by saying, "They all look like me." And I pulled a excerpt from the interview, and it says, look into music, and before I stepped into it, they had music and everyone looked a certain way and did a certain thing. Look at me and now look at music. They all look like me. And then the interviewer asked him if he appreciated that. He said, I love it. He said, if I didn't, I'd be on every song saying, you look like me, you're trying to be like me. You taking my style. He said, no, I love it. Let's get it. So Spoolz brought up an interesting point. He's like, that can be the gift and the curse, because on one hand, it's like, it's dope to have a legendary MC like Wayne to have that much impact. But the flip side is it actually contributes to watering down some of the culture because everyone tries to be a certain way or have a certain appearance or make a certain type of record. So his influence is pretty much undeniable. We know that. Wayne is legendary. But how do you guys feel about his impact overall? Are there pros and cons, or what side are you on when it comes to that? Jay Diff, I'll come to you first.
Oh, I would definitely say that majority of these artists are influenced by Lil Wayne. There's no question about that. Speaking younger artists, though, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, we came from an era where everybody wanted to sound different. So everybody was trying to pretty much set themselves apart from whoever came before them. Right. Whereas now, and it kind of all goes back to technology and social media and having easy access to these people. People are pretty much becoming carbon copies, so to speak, of whatever artists influenced them. And fortunately for them, it's working for them. So they continue to keep doing it. And not to take anything away from Lil Wayne, because Lil Wayne, his style kind of changed over time. You know what I'm saying? You can hear different nuances in the way that he raps versus how he rapped when he first came out. And I think that was just a matter of maybe that wasn't going to fly for that very long. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't even allowed to cuss when he first came out until he turned 18. So once he turned 18, he turned into the Lil Wayne that we know of now. But he definitely set off the or what was one of the front runners for the mixtape trend of dropping mixtapes every few months or so, or rapping over beats. Like 50 Cent came up under that too. But the thing about Lil Wayne is he continued to say that he was the greatest rapper alive, which a lot of people actually agreed with, and they tend to flock to him and kind of took his style and mannerism. So I do agree with him on that.
Okay, I can dig it. Jay Moore, what you think, man? Pro, con? It's undeniable we know what it is with his influence, but you know, how do you take it? What's your approach
I think
on
his influence is definitely, I mean, undeniable. You know, because of the amount of music that he put out at any given time. You know, I mean, it slowed down after, what was it, the Carter 4, but that had to do with, you know, contract disputes with him and Cash Money. But you know, it's also, I think it, to a certain extent, it's also been sort of negative. You know, he brought a lot of the drug culture to hip hop. And a lot of these artists who did not have the amount of money he has, or the amount of, it just got to a point where it was like, okay, I'm going to also be on drugs and talk about drugs and get face tattoos and, you know, and be out here looking like a bit of a fiend.
I was wondering where you were going with that.
You know, and unfortunately, Wayne never moved past that. You know, I think there's a point where Wayne stopped growing. I'm just going to keep it real. Like, he's still trying to make those records that, you know, would play maybe to, what was his height? Maybe around 2011 to 2012. I mean, I haven't seen.
Somewhere in there.
The exact.
I'd say probably 2008 to about 2012.
Whenever his peak was, I'm thinking about like what club I was working in and what song was out. But you know, I'm looking at somebody who unfortunately has kind of pigeonholed himself into a certain place to where Wayne, you know, with the face tattoos and the gold teeth and the drug problem, really can't grow up. You know, and it's time for, and I'm not saying everyone has to grow up and they have to evolve, but you know, when you see how certain rappers or certain MCs, if you will, have been able to, once they got to a certain point in their career. I mean, also we got to remember how young Wayne is. Maybe he's still on his way to doing that, but you know, I think so much of his mystique, if you will, is caught up.
What I'll say to that, though,
so much of his mystique is actually caught up in the image. And so, like, when
Wayne is living a rock star lifestyle. He's living a rock star lifestyle, which I mean, rock stars have always done for as long as I can remember. So I wouldn't necessarily put the negative connotations for as him using drugs or whatnot all on Wayne, because I don't even think he's the only rapper that, I mean, you have people back in the day, they went by like Joe Ski and Ready Rock, and you know what I'm saying, shit like that, which they didn't necessarily.
We're talking about,
they didn't necessarily talk about
generation going forward.
Yeah, I mean, I would say this is what I would say to that, because he wasn't the only one that started, and once he started it, I would say that he's the most popular artist to do it. But at the same time, I don't think him alone is what would kind of put that connotation in the music. I would say wanting to be a rock star itself, because you know how people say they want to be a rock star or live like a rock star, tour or whatever, blah, blah, blah. I think that connotation is what pretty much kind of moved that, so to speak.
No, I'm not mad at that. I agree with that. I just think when, you know, because I think it's crazy, because I feel like Wayne has influenced a lot of people's work ethic, but I also think he's had an influence on people with that quote unquote rock star lifestyle that, you know, like I said, it hasn't been completely advantageous for Wayne to live that rock star lifestyle, because he's got a basically a drug case hanging over him now. You know, he did a year in jail over
pled guilty too.
Yeah. So I mean, like, you know, I want rappers to, okay, you look at his, you know, his success and you look at what he's been able to do as far as his work ethic, but you also have to look at Lil Wayne as a cautionary tale. You know, especially when you're talking about where he had to go through with his business with Cash Money and Baby, and what he's had to go through personally with being caught up with the law enforcement system by just making some bad decisions. You know, I think it's messed up because
taking that picture with Trump was going to do it for him, and unfortunately,
that wasn't it. That wasn't it. Yeah, that wasn't it.
I at first I thought that was him playing a long game, like he knew he had this hanging over his head, and he well, friends with the president, and I take this picture and say he wins. You know, maybe I can make this case go away, but it doesn't look like that's going to work out for him.
I don't think. I heard what you said, Long. Well played. Jump in if you want to, bro.
Yeah, I mean, Wayne's like the exception to the rule, in my opinion, and a lot of these, like in the idea of like, there's nobody like Wayne. You know, like he was the original like kid that was grown up in rap like that. You know, like thrusted to the forefront with Cash Money and that Hot Boys and all that nonsense. And I say nonsense, but it was very influential, and a lot of the stuff was good. So I think, to some of your guys' point where you said like maybe he didn't have enough time to grow up, it's probably going to be a different. I don't think he has yet, and I don't know if he. It sounds bad to say. I don't know if he has the capability to. I think everybody does, but he may not ever see the need to get there. I don't know. I don't know what his lifestyle's like. He's also the same guy that said racism doesn't exist, because I've never felt racism. Like you know, it's like. Does he not have the capability to maybe get to that point? You know, the Trump thing was even, I don't even know if we talked about that on the show, but it was just, I saw it and I was just like, he doesn't know what he's doing. Like, so I don't think you can deny his influence, the good and the bad. And, you know, that's just kind of part of it. I don't know if, here's the $1 million question. If this wasn't Wayne, who would have filled that role? You know what I mean? Like, if it wasn't Wayne that was that person that put, you know, the his style and his, you know, the promotion of the drug culture in the way that he did to the forefront, there would have been somebody else. I mean, we all know that. So it's like,
it's people at the same time. Yeah,
it's like the chicken and the egg type thing.
Yeah, UGK promoting lean, and everybody from Texas pretty much.
I mean, that was
was it just because he was young and he made it cool?
Like Terry said, you know, I can't say I would necessarily put all of that on Wayne. To his point, Jay Moore makes valid points in terms of from an influence standpoint and what he we'll call it popularized. So I get that. Pimp C and, you know, Texas, they've been sipping syrup and lean and pulling up. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a part of that culture down there. DJ Screw,
before Lil Wayne had took off, DJ Screw had already. I mean, he was out here. Look, don't get me wrong, Lil Wayne was still out here. But DJ Screw passed away from pretty much codeine consumption. Lil Wayne was not at the top of his game like that.
But if you think about it also...
But think about when Wayne was at the top of his game. When Wayne was at the top of his game, I mean, you know, that he was way bigger. Like, he was the man. Like, when Carter 3 came out.
That's the difference.
He was the... Like,
he was that guy. He was running, that guy. I agree with that.
Like, he was running this rap shit for a minute. You know, regardless of what I thought about, you know, his records. Like, because when I heard Lollipop, I was like, this is who you all calling the greatest rapper alive?
Yeah.
But, you know, like, you got to understand, but I understood the metrics of it. And if you're a rapper coming up behind him and you see, okay, this guy, he's got Billboard and pop and hip hop #1s. He's talking about this, and this is his lifestyle. Then you're going to emulate that.
If you look at it,
worked for him.
Yeah, I feel I'm with you on that. But at the same time,
it's a lot easier to do that than to be Jay-Z.
Yeah, at the same time, though, wasn't sipping on some scissor up a hit record.
It was a hit, but it wasn't
2001.
It wasn't Wayne.
It was a hit record, and it was on the radio. It was on the radio,
but it wasn't on.
It wasn't Wayne big though.
But it was in mixed show. It wasn't a pop record. Like, Wayne was at that level where he was getting those looks from for lack of a better term, he's getting them looks from white America. When it was sipping on some syrup, could just stay where it was in the hood, like it could be in heavy rotation on your.
Sipping on some syrup was.
I know everybody I know in Indianapolis, especially West Siders, was heavy on 3-6 back then. Whether he was white, black, Hispanic, Chinese, Korean, whatever, they was heavy on 3-6 back then.
I think it's age too, though. I think it's age.
What I'm saying is sipping on some syrup. That's a good point by Lone as well with the age. But sipping on some syrup was never a milli. It was never a milli. Not that it was never that big to me. I don't think it made
milli, it. He was not talking about.
Oh no, but I'm talking about
on some syrup.
I'm talking about. Well,
I'm saying what I'm saying. Well, let me kind of rephrase what I'm saying here. So that was a mainstream song that specifically talked about doing drugs from the intro through the whole the end of the song. That's pretty much what I'm saying. So as far as an influence nugget per se, people that was listening to that or heard the whole song is talking about that. Now Lil Wayne, his music, you knew he was on it. You knew he was doing these drugs or whatnot, but he doesn't necessarily have whole songs where he's talking about using a drug. You follow what I'm saying?
No, I see. I know exactly. I see what you're saying,
but it's song verse. Mm-hmm. It's influences more than just the songs he's doing, right? So
right.
That's
we were in an era of transparency in the beginnings of social media. I mean, there were just like whenever I would see an interview with Lil Wayne, he'd have that double styrofoam cup. We know what that is.
That's a fact.
Yeah. So that influenced as many people as his songs that were on the radio, because it was all eyes on Lil Wayne. So when he was on TV talking to 𝐀𝐄𝐃𝐒, I remember this interview, and he had the double styrofoam cup. They like Pimp C never got to talk to 𝐀𝐄𝐃𝐒.
Yeah. And you think about it with
I remember that quote. It's my cup. Why are you worried about what's in my cup?
Yeah,
100%.
You know what's in that goddamn cup.
Go ahead, Long.
Yeah. No, I mean, do you remember when like eating pussy became a thing in music? Because for a long time in hip hop, it was like frowned upon. Then all of a sudden, it was like everybody was talking about it.
Between that and eating ass, like that. With that, I was this conversation took a turn, but like I'm just gonna say it. I just remember I was like, when did y'all stop doing all this? Like, when did y'all start popping pills and eating ass? Like,
you know what? We're gonna go ahead and go to the next topic, because this could go down the shit. This could go down the shit sandwich lane.
Why you always scared? Why you always scared to talk about it? You might as well talk about it, man.
No, we don't have any ramp content. There's no ramp content.
But real talk though, Lil Wayne did, as far as some recent shit that he did, he sold the masters, all the masters, and I didn't know this, but I guess that includes Drake's and Nicki's masters as well.
I think he got played. Drake's alone are worth $200 or $300 million to me. There's no way I would have sold all of those for $100 million.
It's worth more than that. You said $2 or $3 million?
$100 million.
Nah, his shit.
I thought
you saying $2 or $3 million. I'm like, that's super short.
Yeah, there's no way I would have sold. I would have sold everybody but Drake's and tried to get 100. I'd have kept Drake's. There's no way I would have sold those.
But you know what? When all these people are talking about selling their catalogs, I know we're getting a little off. Every time I turn on the TV now, I've heard "Real Love" by Mary J. Blige in a Target Christmas commercial. I've heard "Real Love" more times than I heard it back in 92, 93 when it came out.
Yeah.
This is why you got to keep
everywhere.
This is why you got to keep control of your publishing, because somebody, if it's not Mary, I'm not sure exactly what her paperwork looks like. Somebody's making a lot of money off of "Real Love" right now. I heard an Old Dirty Bastard. I heard an Old Dirty Bastard song in a washing machine commercial. And so I'm like,
that's my whole thing. That I actually talked about this a couple episodes ago.
Say it again now.
Yeah.
I actually talked. That's my whole qualm with selling your masters. I brought it up a couple episodes ago. Is hearing your joints on shit like that, and I ain't mad at nobody for getting their bread. You know what I'm saying? But when you talk about being commercial, I mean, it's literally commercial now. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
I've asked Lone multiple times within our chat and Discord, And I always tell them, I said, dog, they must know something that we don't know, because I have yet to put my hand on or get a grasp on why everybody's doing it and what the trend is now. And I told Lone, like, there must be something that we're missing. There has to be something that we're missing. Because it ain't. Go ahead, Lone.
I'll tell you what, if it's a lump sum and still a percentage of the royalties somehow, then I think it might potentially be worth it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Lump sum and a good percentage.
And some percentage of a royalty on every. If they're keeping something on the back end, even if it's small, then at least you got a regular check coming in. You got the lump sum.
Okay.
Maybe that's what it is. The only other, but at the same time, you're giving up. You're giving up rights to your work. So I don't know. Really don't know.
I mean, the one thing I noticed, it popped off, I believe, with I want to say No ID was one of the first ones to do it, and then it was another executive that did it, and then we started seeing a couple more art. L.A. Reid did it, and now fast forward up to Wayne, and it's like I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing more. I bet you won't see Jay sell his or somebody like that. Like I doubt he fought too hard to get his, so I know he's not gonna sell his. Like I'd be curious to see who the next person is, and there's articles that have come out about it, so it kind of speaks to the trend.
There's been a lot of people that sold their stuff. There's been a lot of people here.
Well, it's people that they sold their stuff under duress. I mean, I saw that Montel Jordan, like he had to pay off some back tax debt or something, and so he sold all his songwriting catalog. And this is before it became the thing to do, and I bet he regrets it.
Because I still hear this is how we do it.
Exactly,
I still hear that.
This is how we do it in some random commercial, and I was like, he's not getting paid from that because he doesn't.
And not the instrumental, like him singing. Like I've heard the whole song in multiple commercials. So. It's the gift and the curse, man, when you do it. But, like I always say, we'll see. Let's go ahead and jump to the next topic. This one was on 𝐀𝐻 and the headline, shout out to 𝐀𝐻. The headline says, Method Man says Wu-Tang Clan is the Nirvana of our time. And there's a quote that I pulled up. Let's see, it's a pretty long quote. He says... that music, and this is in relation to, it says, Meth continued acknowledging that their music is a foundational text for many a music fan. He compared Wu-Tang's effect on music at large to bands like Metallica and Nirvana. He said that music is so relevant to them today and want to play it for their kids, he explained. It's them trying to tell them this is your music education. This is where you should start it at. It's the same way they are rabid about when the grunge was out and even heavy metal. And those guys were straight, he said those guys were straight bums. They dressed like bums, but they were zillionaires for music. Look at Metallica. You see those guys, they ain't got the big chains or none of that. It's grungy. And Wu-Tang and Wu-Tang defined, you could call it grunge rap. Let's call it that, grunge hip hop. That's exactly what it was. So we were the Nirvana of our time. So we were all alive for Nirvana, obviously, and Wu-Tang. So I'll throw it out to you guys and see how you felt about that statement. Is that a fair comparison, fair assessment?
It's just a weird statement. I don't know. I don't fully maybe he's just talking in passing, but it's like,
okay. You didn't get anything from it?
I guess like, I don't know. I guess I don't really have much to talk about. I mean, I guess that the Metallica. So
I'm not feeling it,
man. I don't know.
Don't know on that one. Even with what I read from the grunge standpoint and the grunge hip hop comparison to grunge rock, or that didn't spark anything. Nothing.
I mean, I guess they're a little grungy. Like Metallica is less grungy than what Nirvana was. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
Makes me wonder if he listened to Metallica.
That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. So I think the interesting point of everything that you said was, this is what kids or grown-ups are playing for their kids. Like, you need to start here or something like that. I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. I doubt people that are like real big fans of Nirvana would start with Nirvana. Especially grunge. Like, they would probably go earlier than that, to the earlier, the 80s before Nirvana.
No,
but
I don't think.
And even more so, rock music you're going to go to the 70s or late 60s.
That's where I would start. Yeah,
I
if it was me, I'll start the 70s. But jump in, Jay Diff. Sorry about that.
No, that's cool. I just think that he totally missed the mark. I hate to check somebody that's a Wu-Tang member.
Come on now, be careful now.
On their own status. But I mean, Wu-Tang is Wu-Tang. There is no we're the Nirvana of this generation or our generation. Wu-Tang was out around the same time. It may be a year or two difference or something like that.
Mic drop statement.
But Wu-Tang, what's that?
So that's a mic drop statement. You really don't have to say anything else. Like, that's it. It's like,
I mean, but
Wu-Tang is Wu-Tang.
It's crazy.
Like,
it's crazy.
Yeah.
At the same time, for him to even, my whole thing with that is, it's almost like you're trying to, you're taking away from yourself essentially, because you're saying that your Wu-Tang is the Nirvana of this generation, when Wu-Tang has been way more prominent. I could be wrong.
And influential
since they first came out.
Talk to them.
Since they came out, since they arrived. I mean, Nirvana had how many albums and how many world tours and influence-wise. There's
Kurt
no
Cobain
more grunge.
Died. Like Kurt Cobain died in like 5, 6?
No, it was
94?
94.
It was earlier than that. 93?
See, you know what's messed up? We don't.
Wu-Tang
We can't even nail it down exactly what year it was.
Yeah.
You know, like I can tell you, like it's messed up. And the thing is, like, I'm a music dude. I can tell you exactly what year we lost Big. It's
4 or 5. Yeah,
man.
So it's, but like Wu-Tang is. I think it's an interesting. Maybe it's psychological to feel like maybe it's. I mean, we know how whiteness is spread around the world, right? And so, does Method Man really believe the Wu-Tang Clan is smaller than Nirvana?
That shit's crazy. I mean, even when you think about, like, say Nirvana, you take Dave Grohl, who was the drummer for Nirvana, and went on to what was the group? Foo Fighters. Okay, that was a whole different style. It wasn't even grunge. So the grunge era pretty much died with Nirvana. Wu-Tang
literally
continues to this day. Like, there's still people being influenced on Wu-Tang. You don't see anybody walking around dressed like Dave Grohl and Kurt Cobain and them back when they were Nirvana. Or even, I mean, you have the emo kids and stuff like that, but that whole scene technically, for lack of better words, died with Kurt Cobain.
I can say this. I mean, I know it's completely anecdotal because it's just me, but like I can actually pinpoint the moment when I went from being an alternative kind of grunge rock fan into hip hop, and it was literally when Kurt Cobain died. And when that happened, I stopped listening to rock music, and then all of a sudden, I think the first couple records, and this was a couple years later, that actually got me into hip hop was Wu-Tang, was an Inspector Deck album, and it was like
Uncontrolled Substance.
Yep, it was Uncontrolled Substance. So it's like it's literally one went into the other for me. So I don't know. I don't know, man.
I think Jay Moore said too earlier before we even came on. He was talking about how it pretty much sells Wu-Tang short, essentially. Speak on that.
No, I think it really does. When you talk about the overall influence of Wu-Tang Clan, that is still felt today. Like, they're still doing documentaries and TV shows and about Wu-Tang Clan. And this is the thing I hate more than anything. And, this might be a controversial take, but, like, that's
Talk
what
to
we're
him. Talk to him.
I hate when we always got to compare what we're doing to some white group. Well, it's like,
I agree.
And I hear, like, all of our, I can see where they're trying to make a comparison, but like, even when Chuck D says, yo, we're the Rolling Stones of hip hop, because of the longevity and the fact that we can still tour. I mean, I get it, but you're the public enemy of just being public enemy. I remember, like, Peter Rosenberg said some goofy shit like about Tribe Called Quest being I don't even know who he compared him to, but I was like, that's insulting. Why do we always have to compare what it is that we've created? And we never compare it to like, the Wu-Tang Clan is the Temptations of hip hop, you know,
or the Parliament or something like that,
or the Parliament or the Four Tops. We always got to compare it to some white group, you know, who has done something that maybe is that I feel like Wu-Tang Clan's influence and what they've done. I mean, it's unfortunately partially because of Kurt Cobain, you know, killing himself back in 1994. Shout out to the chat for correcting us and making sure that we're on point with that. But Wu-Tang Clan has eclipsed anything that Nirvana has contributed to the culture overall, not just hip hop culture, but I'm talking about the culture overall.
It's not even close.
It's selling the influence of Wu-Tang Short. And, you know, like I said, we are in a position to where we have so much influence over not just hip hop culture, but culture to where we don't have to compare what it is that we've accomplished to the Rolling Stones or the Beatles or Bob Dylan or whoever. It was like,
who are all great artists, by the way. These are all great.
Yeah, nothing against them, but like,
to your point,
if anything, you know, compares the Temptations are still out here. You know, I know Otis is the only original member left, but they're still out here. They're going to be performing somewhere on New Year's Eve. You know, in
a room full of masks.
Tribute bands left. Yeah, so I'm just saying, don't, you know, like, we don't have to do this anymore to where we compare whatever it is we've created to make white people or whoever understand what it is that we've created and it contributed to the culture to make them understand. We need to stop doing that.
Jump in, Jay Diff. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I just think it's corny overall that people are pretty much like their art form in itself.
Yeah.
That has exceeded what their predecessors have done. And it's like you still want to backtrack and kind of lower yourself and give them credit, per se, for what you've done, when actually you've carved a whole new lane. So if you've carved your own lane, why are you trying to jump in somebody else's lane or give them credit for it? That makes no sense.
Hey, at the end of the day, from an impact standpoint, culturally, you can put it in rap, whatever you want to call it, there's really no comparison. I like Jay Moore's point as well, because there's so many iconic Black groups, timeless groups that you could use as a reference point. I like what you also said about Chuck D and Public Enemy. They are their own entity in themselves. When you look at them, like, just starting from the beginning to whenever the album out, I tried to listen to it. It wasn't going for me, but I say that to say that they're still legendary hip hop act. Culturally, just their impact has been crazy. So y'all all make good points on that. Like, I think that's definitely selling. Meth is selling them a little short on their overall impact. Like, you can go to any store in America and find a Wu-Tang t-shirt. Walmart got them. Meyer got them. You know what I'm saying? You can find that logo anywhere. Stickers, journeys. It don't matter.
I guess you don't realize that hip hop is at the forefront of our culture right now. And
he might not
have to get nobody credit for shit.
He might not. That's a good point.
All that. Dead that shit, bro.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's a wrap for that.
You're already there, Meth.
Yeah, you're already there, bro. On that note, Lone, let's shout out our partners real quick before we get into this last topic, if you will, sir. Yep, we'd like to thank our partners for the New Old Heads podcast. No Bad Ideas Clothing Company, Coleman Dental, Printfinity, Indie CD and Vinyl, Sun King Brewery, and the hub for all things New Old Heads, bringingdowntheband.com. Remember, once you type Bringing Down the Band in the search bar on YouTube and the page populates, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And as always, we thank you for your support. Now back to the show. All right, we are back. Shout out to the chat as always, sticking with us. We appreciate y'all. Still here in the coast, still rocking. David, I see you. Nick Jeezy, I think you still lurking in here somewhere. Branson Sachs probably in here somewhere too. So we really appreciate y'all. All right, let's go to this last topic before we get out of here. So I prayed, and my prayers were answered. what I've seen so far, but I prayed that Nori wouldn't mess up the Pharrell interview, and he actually didn't. Like, I think I was able to give good Pharrell stories, and Nori didn't do too much over talking, and his teeth was acting pretty good, a little sloppy, but it's cool. We're gonna get past that. There's some big teeth, man. The veneers, them joints is pretty big teeth, but Nori's still legendary status in hip hop, and what he does for Drink Champs is crazy because they have all the dope artists that come through there. He just got to fall back a little bit. That's all. But Pharrell got to talking about Michael Jackson, and I didn't even know this. And I call myself a Pharrell fan, and I've heard a lot of interviews that he's done. But he said Michael Jackson turned down damn near all the songs that ended up being on Justified. And when I thought about it, and you think about the records on that album, it's like you could hear, Michael Jackson influence. But the fact that he wrote those for him, and he was like, nah, I'm cool. Like, could y'all imagine thinking about that album as we know it now? If Mike would have took those records and put his swag on it, like how crazy that would have been. Like, I could literally see the magic, like, or his voice. What's up?
Can you imagine Michael Jackson rapping like Noriega?
No, I can't. I can't imagine that.
Mike wanted beats with like Super Thug. He wanted those Super Thug beats.
He's like, it's MJ, pop beat. Say what?
Nah, about to hit you with that bad 2000.
Bruh, the fact that he wanted, like, Nori was tripping because he's like, Michael Jackson was like, yeah, so I want some of the stuff that you're giving to Nori. And Nori's looking at it like Michael Jackson referencing me. I would have flipped out too. So I'd have lost my mind too if Michael Jackson was like, yeah, I want the beats that Mike made or the ones you making for Mike. Like, I'd have flipped. But that album was
to be on Super Thug.
Man, how does Michael Jackson even approach Super Thug with his voice? Like, I don't even see that, bro.
On that joint.
I don't know, man. I don't know if 𝗀 would have worked on that Super Thug. Well, I can't get past
it might have.
I don't know. I can't get past the what's and everything as it was. But I thought that conversation was crazy, man. And the possibilities, they're just endless. I'm looking at the track list now for that album. And think about it, Señorita, that song is crazy. I definitely could hear Mike, on that. And like Cry Me a River and Rock Your Body, like all these joints are cold records, man. All these joints are cold records. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I got hype about the possibility. Like, I got hype thinking about it. Jay Diff, what you think?
I didn't. Well, go ahead.
You know what?
Nah, I mean, it sounded like it was a Michael Jackson album, though, honestly.
Okay.
If you think about it. Like the way it was written, the sound that it sounded like a Michael Jackson album. It's kind of like I don't know if Dream's first album.
Okay, Dream.
What was the name of that album? It sounded like a Prince album.
Yeah,
I can't say that he wrote that for Prince, but it definitely sounded like a Prince album. And the thing about that is they're tapping it. Yeah, they're tapping into that sound that they grew up on necessarily because I mean. Pharrell and Dream were kids, or Pharrell might have been a teenager when Thriller and all that shit was out. But anyway, I mean, it sounds like Mike could have made that album, and it actually would have been a hit for him. He could have toured off that shit. But I mean, you live and you learn, you grow and you evolve. If he wanted to jump on some Nori albums, shit, that would have took Nori to a whole nother plane.
Oh my God!
If he had actually did some tracks with Nori would have been international Nori.
He didn't
say he wanted to do tracks with Nori. He just said he wanted the beats, didn't he?
No, he just said he wanted that sound. But I'm saying,
okay.
If he got that sound, if he actually inherited that sound and was able to do something with it,
can you imagine
Nori? Had to put Nori on a track.
And Michael
somewhere.
Jackson on the. Can you imagine him on the same song?
I can't see it. Like I'm cool.
I would rather see Nori rapping on the song than whoever that dude was that was rapping on Black or White.
I'm with you when you're right. I stand corrected. I'm with you when you're right.
Was it Jungle?
It's just like old boy that rap on
No.
See, we was doing so well. See, it looks like old boy that raps on Shoop. Like, come on, man. You know, like I'm cool.
The cat on Black or White was way worse than on Shoop, bro.
I'm just
Black
saying,
or White was corny. They had Macaulay Culkin lip sync in the verse.
First of all,
that's whack.
Dude on Shoop.
I would definitely rather hear Nori.
The dude on Shoop was straight, but those are the two that come to mind when I think the features was. I'm cool on both of those random rap features. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Like they performed Shoop and they brought Fam out at the Video Music Awards and everybody was like, you know what I mean? They brought him out.
It just wasn't as whack. It just wasn't as whack as that one. Even my God, well, nah, he didn't rap. So I ain't even gonna call him out on Gangsta's Paradise, the singing ass dude. But
LV,
the black or white rap was terrible.
Yeah, Fam was sweating like a mug in that.
He could have gotten
video.
anybody. He could have gotten anybody, and they just said, "Hey, man, do you rap? Come on in here and get on this Michael Jackson song."
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah, like Fam hit the lick of all licks. Like, yeah, I'm on Black and White. That's my verse. Like he could be at Papa Bear's right now. We don't even know.
He probably, if his paperwork is right, he's still collecting royalties off that whack ass rap.
100%.
And the thing is, Teddy Riley did a lot of production on that album. I was like, Mike, you couldn't have asked Teddy Riley if he knew somebody. You had to just get. I don't even know that dude's name. Like, and the thing is,
Teddy Riley knew Pharrell at the time.
He could have put Pharrell on there.
True.
He could have got somebody.
I'm about to look him up, man. Y'all got me. I'm about to look it up right now.
When did that song come out?
Oh, that's back when it was
like 91, 92.
Yeah. That's back when it was premiering music videos on Fox at night.
Yep.
Like, let's see, Black or White, and everybody used to sit around
in living color.
Everybody used to sit around the TV and watch. Remember the time? I remember that one vividly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, Michael Jackson, Black or White. Where's the feature? Let's see, songwriter Michael Jackson. Where's the feature?
They didn't even credit dude.
Okay, here we go. Michael Jackson song release, composed, produced. Where is the feature? Peaked Billboard 100. Who is the feature? Commercial reception? No. Critical response remixes, music video? No. Oh my God, man.
That dude probably didn't do shit else, so there's nothing even to reference.
Michael Jackson. Let's see, Black or White Michael Jackson rap. Meet mystery man who rapped on Michael Jackson's Black or White. Here we go.
Oh, that's mystery man.
I should share my screen. They got a picture of old boy. Yo, hold on, man. I'm sorry, y'all. I got to share my screen. Wait a minute, y'all have this. Hold on, real quick.
Now we don't even see you.
Here we go. All right, hold on.
I was about to say.
Tell him about the gun line, boss.
Tell him about the gun line, boss. All right, so here we go. Share.
Nate Jeezy said it was a studio engineer. I totally agree with you. They told him here and jump on this shit.
All right, so
here's this verse real quick, bro.
All right, so it says, meet the mystery man. Can y'all see this?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Meet the mystery man who rapped on Michael Jackson's Black or White.
See, that's here what I pictured him as too.
Look, there was somebody you could have helped feed your family. Like you could have got a brother to rap on that, Mike.
Yeah, man.
You could have got one of the dudes from Rex Effect to rap on that. You could have.
Well, they said it didn't. I think that kind of stood to the song title. It doesn't matter if you're black or white. So they got the white.
No,
it
kind of matters if you're black or white.
The rap
put a rap on. And you just getting Buddy who worked in the studio to go ahead and lay down a verse. No.
You know, Mike.
I'm glad there were certain radio.
He said he's not going to walk around being a color. He said he's not going to walk being a color.
Of course,
because he's going to jump on this black or
he's
white.
White. Of course, he's not going to walk around being a color.
Talk to him, Lone.
What's he go by?
He said he's going to spit this fire.
Talk to him, Lone. What you say?
What's he go by?
Let's see. A couple years ago, is it LTB? Man credited as only LTB. Yeah. So the mystery of LTB.
Yeah, I'm not reading all that.
Listen, man, at the bottom
LTB out here collecting his paper.
Man, hey, he can smoke something better than cigarettes at the bread he making off that black or white. But I wanted y'all to see that.
He made one rap song and he paid.
Oh, he's
How
good.
about that?
Yeah, he's good. A nice glass of wine. Like he could fix a carburetor low key if he'd have been black. The way that cigarette was hanging out of his mouth.
Are you sure he's not black?
Yeah, here he go. See, here go long. No, that ain't what he mean. He's stupid. That's not what he mean.
What if he's mixed and he's light skinned?
Stop, man.
I'll tell you this. I'm actually glad Michael didn't take those Pharrell beats because they sounded like Pharrell trying to make Thriller beats. And there's nothing wrong with
what?
Yes.
I wouldn't say Thriller.
When I hear
Michael Jackson,
I love Rock Your Body. I love You Don't Have to Call by Usher. Those are great records. But Michael Jackson had already done that. Though that was Usher and Justin Timberlake's chance to go ahead and do something.
Hold up. Hold up. Wait a minute. Those beats you thought those beats was Pharrell trying to make beats to sound like Thriller?
Go listen.
Are you sure about that?
Listen to those beats. The way the key changes and the bridges come in. Those are Thriller era, maybe bad era beats. Like I really think that. And like, because when I heard him, it wasn't even debate as whether he was trying to make record. Pharrell was trying to get some Michael Jackson placements. I remember hearing those beats in here. Like I was in radio and records at the time. Like that wasn't even a secret that they were trying to get on Michael Jackson.
It definitely sounds like Michael Jackson beats and sounds. I give you that, but I can't ride with you on the Thriller sound. It sounds like something. It kind of sounds like a man. I don't even know. It definitely does sound Michael Jackson influenced. So I will say that.
I will
from
say
the lyric wise, and even how they got Justin singing and shit, it sounds like some Michael Jackson shit. But I just don't hear the Thriller.
I don't hear the music.
So, you don't hear it long on the production.
I don't hear Thriller in it. But
I hear Thriller.
Maybe not Thriller, but when you hear it, I wasn't surprised. Like when I heard You Don't Have to Call, I was like, yeah, I could see Michael Jackson on this because he's done something similar. When I heard,
absolutely.
You know, when I hear Rock Your Body, I'm like, you know, yeah, okay, this is something that Michael's done before, you know. But I think a lot of people I was one of those people that I really enjoyed Invincible for what it would. I enjoyed what Rodney Jerkins did on Invincible.
No, Invincible.
I enjoy what Marsha Ambrosius. I enjoy what Marsha Ambrosius did as far as songwriting for
Butterfly.
Yeah. So I was like, I mean, people are like doing the what if, like, oh, what if he did this? I was like, yo, it was still going to be a Michael Jackson album in 2000 that got released like right around 9/11. Unfortunately,
I'm gonna keep it a buck though. One, the sleeper song on Invincible is "Break of Dawn." If y'all ain't heard the album, that's the sleeper song.
That's not
a played that on the radio.
That's not a sleeper.
I know people that slept on that, but that's what I'm saying. Like I don't know how, but I know people that's like, yeah, you're right. That was cool. That song is cold. Two, I feel what you saying on the production on Invincible, but I'm not gonna front. If Pharrell was, if I could switch producers, I can't honestly say that the album might not, like it could have been better. Like if you put Pharrell in that producer slot, I'm just saying, like 2000 Pharrell in that same position with a Mike album. I don't know, man. It might have come out better than that. That's all I'm saying. Even with them cold records on there, I don't know, but I still like Invincible, so I'm with y'all on that.
I think it's a dope record. Dope album.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see real quick before we get out of here. Brother to the Night said, "Nah, you tripping, Jay Moore." Let's see. He laughing at.
I mean, the sound was definitely there. I'm with you on that.
Shout out to the Drunken Knights for remixing "Let It Snow" by Boys II Men. Definitely listen to their latest episode so you want to check out that remix of a Christmas classic.
Oh, I definitely need to see that. Yeah, we're gonna have to find that. Nate Jeezy said it's been known for 2 decades that Mike turned those down. Well, thanks, music aficionado, I guess. He's just trying to shit on everybody on the show, like, hey, y'all didn't know that. Whatever, man. Thank you.
Y'all just now finding out about Jay Dilla.
Yeah, I ain't go front. I didn't know he turned that.
I ain't know
them shit down. It definitely sound Michael Jackson influenced. But I didn't know that he turned it down.
Now I had no idea that Prince turned down fronting.
Now I can hear Prince on fronting 100%.
I did not
hear
know
that 100%. Cause like the lick, like the way the beat is, I can hear him playing that lick on his guitar. Like that'd be crazy. Now I can hear Prince all over front. Shout out to DJ 𝗏𝗂. He said, "What's up, fellas?"
Hey, what's going on, 𝗏𝗂?
What's up,
yes,
man?
sir.
That'd have been dope to hear Prince. It would have been cool to hear Prince and Michael Jackson on some Pharrell beats.
Agreed.
I would say that. But I think what would probably stopped Prince, and this is just hypothetical. Prince was definitely a songwriter. I mean, Michael Jackson wrote songs too, but not in the same. His pen wasn't the same as Prince personally.
But Prince is also a producer too. Like he didn't want nobody producing for him.
Right. So that's probably what led him to kind of be cool on that.
Hey, do you guys remember that Prince song "Black Sweat"? I remember thinking, "Oh, I thought Pharrell did that," but no, that was Prince.
I don't know if I remember that joint. Well, I pull it up.
Yeah.
I've heard it, but I can't recall it right now.
Black Sweat. Prince won a Grammy for that, and it sounded like something that could have been done by the Neptunes, but it wasn't.
My man Nate Jeezy, the aficionado, is like the biggest Prince fan I know though. So I know he could definitely hear fronting on that joint. That would have been cold. So salute to Pharrell, man. I'm glad he's getting his flowers, man. Fam is all time great. You know, bending genres and producing some everything. So that boy was cold. So still cold. Actually.
Speaking of Prince, though, I hate to be this dude, but
don't do this, man. I don't even know.
God rest his soul. I mean, it's actually props to him, but I know how he was about his music. I want to hear what he got tucked away. I'm sorry. I kind of want to hear what he got tucked away. And that's just where
some of that stuff is tucked away because it needed to stay tucked away.
Yeah, and that's understandable. It's just like a lot of that Tupac shit that got released. It shouldn't have been released.
There you go.
But at the same time,
there you go.
I know there's some joints in there that are on fire that he just didn't want to drop, and I like him.
We're gonna see, man. Somebody got the rights to something, and if they put it out, then we'll revisit it, I guess, when that time comes. I know Jay Moore got to get upstairs and do what he do. We appreciate everybody rocking with us. Make sure you go to the go to YouTube and search the New Old Heads Network. We are 6 people away, 6 subscribers away from our goal. Oh, it's 3? Oh, it's been updated. We need 3 more people to go subscribe to the New Old Heads Network on YouTube. So make sure y'all do that. Follow Bringing Down the Band. Oh, I'm sorry. Subscribe to Bringing Down the Band. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter as well. New Old Heads and Bringing Down the Band, which is always a hub for everything. Shout out to our Patreon page as well. Make sure you go check us out there.
Yep, and I think Mike's gone. So on that note, shouts to episode 217. Thank you guys for tuning in. We will holler at you next time. We're going to go to the post show right now.
Let go.
Oh, now he's back.